In 1897, hearts ached for a dream. It was a time of millionaires and hobos, when the haves had everything, the have-nots, nothing. It was also a time of depression. Workhouses filled the cities. To get ahead in life would take a miracle. Early that year, a rumor swept America. A king's ransom of gold had been found in the Canadian North. Anyone's for the taking. Gold. The word alone brought warmth to a bleak and terrible decade. The excitement built when a newspaper wrote of a returning treasure ship. Gold, 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 gold. 68 rich men on the steamer Portland, stacks of yellow metal. Thousands lined the docks when the ship arrived. Show us the gold, they shouted, as the miners unloaded their crates of nuggets. Within days, America had gold fever, and the world had never seen anything like it. Policemen walked off their beats. Husbands left their wives. Wives left their husbands. Reporters called it a stampede, and the herd was Yukon bound. Actress Esther Lyons was one of the first women to go north. In her journal, she wrote,
"How shall I describe the trip? The beauty of the landscape begins and never ends. Behind us, civilization. Before us, vastness, silence, grandeur. What a place to think. What a place to dream."
The Klondike was a place for dreamers, but the long trail turned dreams into nightmares and taught painful lessons about pots of gold and rainbows. Dyea, Alaska, 105 years later. A new generation of gold seekers arrives at the trailhead, not by steamer, but by minivan.
The original Dyea town site is directly across from where you're starting. You know, the town sprung up from those who were...
Jamie Brown, creator of the Quest series, has chosen 4 men and 1 woman to relive the Gold Rush experience. Everything, from the clothes they wear to the food they eat, will be as it was in the summer of 1897. Tomorrow, they leave on their epic journey. First, they've come to the beach where it all began to check the supplies.
Here we go. Let's go find our stuff.
They have 3 months' worth of food, some mining equipment, and a 3-piece canoe known as a knockdown boat. Total weight, 3,000 pounds. They'll carry all of it, either on their shoulders or in turn-of-the-century backpacks.
I think those leather straps are going to be cutting right into the shoulders there as soon as we get some weight on this, for sure.
The group mirrors the type of people who joined the Gold Rush. Men like Rick Unruh, a jack of all trades who has worked the rigs and done some mining. He can almost taste the gold.
It's like a hunter. You know, a hunter, it's the thrill of the hunt, not necessarily the kill. And mining's the same way.
Hard work is his stock and trade. He says what he thinks and knows who he is.
There's one thing that I want out of life would be for my family, you know, to be proud of me, and for my friends to respect me.
To reach the gold fields, they'll need every ounce of Rick's determination. But in the north, even the strongest can be broken. Andrea Bellon is the only woman on the team. She's the granddaughter of a Klondike can-can girl, the oldest of 12, and was raised listening to Gold Rush stories.
A smart woman knows how to motivate her man in a way that makes him think he's motivating himself.
Like many women of that time, Andrea came on the journey to escape a difficult home life.
I almost
almost want to cry. I do already. And it's only day 2 and we haven't even got to the scary parts yet.
In the months ahead, conflict with men will follow her on the lonely trail.
Where are the men? Why aren't they with you?
I don't know why they're not with me.
Dave Delnia is the expedition's photographer. He's been given a period camera to document the trip.
When I look at a lot of the photos and stuff, I really, I respect the people who took them.
Dave is a young Christian from the town of Hope. He thinks the hard journey will challenge his body and his faith. He will be right, but in ways he'd rather forget.
This whole trip has just gone from this adventure that I was so excited about to a job, and a horrible job. I'm now dreading the fact that I have to see this show on TV.
And then there's Sebastian Racine, who's just 19. He's from Quebec, Canada, and came for the adventure.
All right, how many kilometers we have to go?
Yukon is the freedom. I think there's just too much people now in Quebec. I like to have my space for me.
Sebastian was broke when he joined the team and thinks there's easy money ahead. He'll soon change his mind.
It doesn't look as intimidating as initially I thought it would be.
The oldest member of the group, Joe Bishop, is 41. The son of a former NHL hockey executive, Joe left the city, moved to the bush, and became a songwriter.
I've got them guarded, to enter something like this with a pessimistic view, you've defeated yourself before you've even begun. And the island's kind of here.
Joe will emerge as the team leader, not because he wants to, but because he has to. The journey will begin in Dyea, Alaska, where the team will climb the trail to the historic Chilkoot Pass. If they cross it, they'll trek through grizzly country to Bennett Lake, then sail north to the Yukon River. 500 miles downstream, the river passes Dawson City. If they make it this far, they'll find a claim and prospect for gold. The gold rush lasted for less than 2 years. In that time, 100,000 came north to strike it rich. Most failed and went home with tales of strange things done. They were the lucky ones. The Yukon is a hard land, and the trail from Dyea to Dawson a deadly passage. Most who came were Chichakos, beginners like Sebastian, who had no idea what lay ahead as they walked up this beach and vanished into the land called the Great Alone.
Joe, if you can grab the pick. If everyone can sort of shift a little bit to your left. Yeah. Sebastian, more so you're all sort of a little tighter together. Sebastian looking at the camera, Rick looking at the camera, Joe that way into the distance. And yeah, perfect. So hold still, everybody, please.
Day 1 in the year 1897. The clothes they're wearing are similar to those worn by the original stampeders. Thick cotton, heavy denim, leather boots.
These boots are too big for me, so I'm putting in extra felt liner so the foot doesn't move around too much. And other than that, they're just tough leather boots, so we'll see how they break in.
The packs will also take some breaking in. The straps are thin, there's no padding, and the wooden frames are awkward.
Yeah, it's not touching. Yeah, it's not bad. I think I can do it.
It's not the more stable pad, but
Although it's June, there's snow in the mountains, so they're carrying snowshoes and cargo sleighs.
this is a sled that pioneers would have carried to get them over the top of the summit there, and use it in the snow. So we'll see how much snow we encounter at the top. We'll see how if they end up coming in handy or not.
Which side?
It looks like if you put this on the inside so that this thing, it would be perfecter. It would be perfecter. I'm on. Wow. I look a little bit frowny, but this is a big wow, man. I can't believe I'm actually here and going for this kind of punishment on purpose. All for the love of money.
That, however, is what the gold rush was all about. Some came for love, others to escape punishment, but everybody came for money.
Off for one. Let's do it. I don't know how. Dinner isn't that kid.
The first leg of the trail is from Dyea to Canyon City, about 8 miles. The summit of the pass is only another 9 miles away. But it's the climb, through the rainforest, across the boulder fields, and up the golden staircase, not the distance, that made the Chilkoot a legend. Despite its beauty, the Chilkoot is a trail of curses, carrying the loads of backbreaking chore. The team will ferry the 3,000 pounds of supplies in stages, with drop points set up every couple of miles. When most of the supplies are moved, the main camp will leapfrog ahead. It's a grinding process.
Feels like it's time for a little bit of water. It's a little thirsty, but other than that, no problem. Pack's rubbing on my back a little bit, but other than that, it's not bad at all.
Bastian?
Yeah,
And you? How are you?
pretty good. It's pretty strange for the back and here a little bit, but should be all right. Yeah.
Might have to quit smoking.
Yeah. I don't think it's make a difference for my back.
In 1897, a river of men like Rick and Sebastian struggled over this trail. Of the 100,000 who began, less than a third actually made it to Dawson City. Like most women of that time, Andrea runs the camp, and job one is to get rid of extra weight. She's a no-nonsense sort who came on the quest despite her husband's objections.
My husband thinks I'm crazy. Secretly, I think it's because he wanted to do it, because it wasn't very nice when we parted ways when I left. But I haven't had an argument with anyone in a week. I applied for this because I wanted to prove to myself that I can actually do it. I've always thought I was a pretty little house on the prairie-ish, you know? And I think I wanted to know if I can take it, you know? And I already said, I want to go home.
The original stampeders hired local Tlingit natives to help carry their loads.
Staff, a big stick. Oh, sweet pie.
The present-day expedition also has some help.
Do you want me to hold that up?
3 packers have joined the team.
Okay.
Ron Chambers is an experienced bush
What
guide.
you doing over there, Ron?
Ralph James and Ron Atlin are descendants of Gold Rush packers.
My great-grandfather was one of the chiefs on the Chilkoot during the Gold Rush, and my grandfather on my mother's side was a Northwest Mounted policeman. So with that kind of a background, I thought it was a great opportunity for me to see what they were seeing back when.
I'm a full-blooded Tlingit. My Tlingit name is Trenches, which means lone crow. and I'm of the Crow clan, the Iskiton, since both of my grandfathers have packed over here. So I thought it'd be a very wonderful opportunity to retrace their steps, which would be a great honor for me.
My Indian name is Kashkaw. It means, in Tlingit, it means man who sits down quick.
The Tlingit of 1897 sat down whenever they wanted. They were a powerful tribe of warriors who controlled the Chilkoot trade for centuries. As the tent cities of Chichako sprang up, the Tlingit saw the opportunities. Tappan Adney, a journalist for Harper's Magazine, was sent from New York to cover the gold rush. He soon learned to respect the Tlingit.
They do nothing without a price. If one engages them and someone offers them more, they lay down their packs and take up new ones, or they stop and strike for higher wages.
A gold rush breakfast, porridge and campfire coffee. Hunger was common on the trail. Scurvy and starvation followed the stampeders. This team has enough food, but only just. For 22-year-old Dave Delnia, eating less will be a new experience.
I thought we made that clear last night there.
Actually, dinner smelled quite a bit better.
That's something I never expected coming into this, that I'd be hungry. And because my whole life has been, you know, I've always had food. Like it's been a given, and I think I kind of realized for the first time that like not everybody nowadays has that, and a lot of people back then, like that was a fact of life, was hunger.
And they must be careful with the food they do have.
To keep the bears away by doing this?
Oh yeah. Big part of it too. Keep all the food out of camp. Don't want any food odors around us at all.
And is this bear country here?
This is big time bear country. Grizzlies and black bear.
So are you going on the trail today?
I'm going on the trail, and I'm going to carry shovels and buckets and go see, so then when they come back all tired, I can appreciate their toil.
Andrea has it right. Crossing the Chilkoot is toil. Generations of Tlingit women used this trail. During the gold rush, about 1,000 southern women crossed it. If they made it over, they called themselves skookum, tough and strong. They had to be.
Man, it was tough, wearing 2 wool socks, inside rubber boots, with wool underwear. Well, I have a cotton liner, like a cotton sort of bloomer inside a wool bloomer underneath my skirt. And do I ever miss my own ginch, I tell ya.
The packers are also toiling. Their great-grandfathers were paid by the pounds carried. 100-pound packs were common. Like the rest of the team, Ralph and Ron are carrying half that.
It's always hard starting in the morning. The first one.
You build up a lot of physical strength when you're doing this. Your legs and your arms. You win mostly.
There's 5 of us, and we have 3 packers helping us out. And we'll see how that goes. They made their first trip up there today, so they should be getting back in a minute. It's probably going to be about 60 loads of 60 loaded packs each time we move. So it's a lot of trips back and forth.
No, I just got the one blister, one big blister.
Is that right? Look at mine.
Yeah.
And then I got one coming in there too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even look at my heels.
That one's not bad.
I think my heels are bad though.
Blister, blister. Oh, it's exaggerated because I got pink lint all over everything, but oh, sorry, a lady doesn't do that.
Anything that delays them is a problem. If they fall behind schedule, their supplies won't last. They must push forward. But on the afternoon of day 2, they take a step backwards. Joe Bishop stabs himself.
Probably if you double that up. I don't know.
The production company has provided an experienced guide to help with emergencies. This is an emergency.
Holy shit, we're going into town for that one.
Yeah, I can see the tendon.
The exposed tendon means a trip to the hospital.
Doing two things at once with a sharp object isn't a smart thing, as long as the fingers move. First thing I did was to make sure I could move it, because I was worried about guitar playing.
I've never seen that before.
I cut myself today with a knife, and I was quite surprised when we were going into town to get the stitches, having that feeling of, even though we've only been working together as a team for 2 days, I already felt like I was going back into the dressing room and getting pulled off that team effort that was happening. When we looked at it, you can see the
Joe was lucky. His tendon was not damaged, but the team wasted half a day waiting for his return.
Well, I don't think I did.
Yeah, you can move everything.
But yeah, you can see the fibers.
And nice white
yeah, exactly. The great thing about it is my feet don't hurt anymore.
This is the one and only time I've met you in your sweaty socks.
It's only day 2.
I'm a basket case already, and I'm just barely holding it together to these people, and I'm supposed to know everything, and I totally do not. Last night I burnt dinner, and I had to feed these guys who just worked like 6-8 hours on the trail, packing 60 pounds there and then coming back in the dusky of the evening. And what do they get when they get home? They got some crabby losing it chick with burnt rice. Yikes! This was real life. If this was 100 years ago, I wouldn't even have got off the boat, I tell you. Money ain't worth it.
Esther Lyons did get off the boat, but soon shared Andrea's despair.
Each of us had to carry a load. They made mine as light as possible, but it soon seemed heavy. I am ashamed to confess I oftentimes wanted to cry. I was so tired.
Yep.
You stay, I go.
We're just going to go on a rotating basis, or we're going to go on
Well, we could do that, you know, so that one person...
On the morning of the third
person
day,
cooks and one
there's
person
another
eats,
setback.
and we just switch like that.
Dave can barely walk.
But you are no good if you can't walk. So you need to take time with your feetsies and get better.
They must move about 15 loads a day. Joe's injury slowed them, and with Dave out of action, Ron Chambers is worried about the delays.
Back end. Remember you said we had to have somebody with food?
Yeah.
We all don't have to be here. We can maybe have a couple guys sit up there and work that back end, remember? The relay?
We should probably aim at that for even.
We should look at it. I mean, just play with these scenarios and pick the one that works for us.
You're still limping, hey?
Oh yeah, they're just really like, the blisters are just swollen up over the night, so we'll pop them and get my feet ready to go for the rest of the day.
We started off at a pace that isn't sustainable, and it's hard to stay excited and in good spirits when you're tired like that. But the biggest problem is it's not a stamina issue as much as it is just a pain tolerance issue.
3 cups of beans.
Before this journey began, the team had never met.
Cups of water.
During the gold rush, strangers often banded together, something that wasn't always easy.
We get to Dawson, Andrew might not want to cook anymore, so we might have to learn how. She might be down at the hotel making money, making real money.
That's right.
Bombay piggies,
Yeah.
working my gold mine.
None of this cooking, cleaning just for a free ride.
It ain't free.
Well, in exchange for traveling with the most successful mining team that ever went over the Chilkoot.
That's right.
Way to toot your own horn there, Rick.
Speak again, old toothless wonder, eh?
We're coping. We're tolerating each other. We're not, by any stretch of the imagination, in my mind anyways, bonding. I know I'm not bonding. No, that's probably just me.
One of the items going over the pass is a sewing machine. Rick has agreed to carry it.
Oh, yeah?
So what do you figure that weighs, Rick?
Oh, it's not that heavy. I'd say 20 pounds, 20.
That's classic.
Yeah, this is a gem. I don't know how many gold miners would have brought a sewing machine in.
In fact, lots of gold miners did. Being a seamstress was one of the few ways for a woman to make her living. It's important to Andrea that the sewing machine reach Dawson City. It's also time to begin moving the knockdown boat, a tough chore. Joe has volunteered to make it his.
Is there any particular method to carry boats over mountains?
We're learning that pretty well every step along the way. The big thing to remember is because it's so wide and it's so high that it gets caught up in branches, and when we're going through the narrow parts of the rocks, everything's getting caught up.
The Klingit used to say only white men were crazy enough to carry boats over mountains. After this long day on the trail, Joe Bishop would probably agree.
Missed. Oh. So those old photos that you see of the people standing beside the trail and they're just kind of beat up, I've got a totally new appreciation of what they're going through. And these packs are so uncomfortable you don't want to take them off because it's an ordeal putting them back on. So this seems to be the best way to rest.
So I can understand why they wanted to do it, to get rich, to get gold. But why do you want to do this?
It sounded fun at the time. It sounded like it would be interesting. And I think it will be at the end, but right now it's just a pure challenge, just to get it up and deal with. It's the pain that's the worst thing on the feet. And that's it. Where I think our emotions change every day. It's only day 4. And we already feel like the novelty is over. It's just a daily grind now.
Maybe I will bring 1 or 2 matches with me.
It's hard not to like Sebastian. Each day is a new adventure. On this day, he's learning to smoke the pipe.
That's too bad. Yeah, yesterday night I had the first real...
Good one.
Yeah, it was like a big
Just imagine
cigarette.
all the matches you wasted.
Yeah.
As the least experienced member of the team, he's worried that if food gets short, the others might leave him behind. So he pushes hard.
I just had a good sleep, but I dreamed all night that I was packing. So I hope I will not do these dreams every night. I was thinking that I was napping on the trail, so when I was wake up, I was truly thinking that I was in the trail somewhere. And yeah, it was kind of funny.
Okay, who's on the boat? Who's going to do the boat?
Sebastian and Joe are going to start out on the boat.
Sebastian, okay.
Yeah.
Think he's strong enough for it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he seems fairly wired.
Oh, yeah. He's pretty tough for a young guy, so he's doing good.
Dave is also pretty tough for a young guy. With the boat on the trail, it's a day for pictures, despite his injuries.
Blisters are fine. The one I had on the bottom of my foot's totally healed, and the one on my right Achilles is just a scab, but sort of a minor. concerned. I'm more focused on the actual tendons.
How you doing, Sebastian? Oh, perfect, man. Right on. Let's keep going then.
Many Klondike teams had boats like this. The midsection weighs about 200 pounds, and there's only one way to move it, the old-fashioned way, sweat and bruises.
Yeah. Do you think people are strong enough today? I think the life we live makes us weak.
In some senses, yes, yes. I mean, if you're looking at compared to our ancestors, yes. Compared to them, I think our life is a little bit too easy.
If you guys can see me over here. Yeah. So this is the section of trail that I want to get the shot from. So yeah, see how you feel. If you feel like you can hold it and sort of, you know, because you're going to kind of have to pose a little bit, like hold still so I can get the shot. If you feel like you can hold it, hold it. If you feel like you just need to set it down and have one hand on it, that's fine too. Okay, you guys can hold her anywhere there. Okay. Place to have photography.
Yeah, that's why the most awkward spot for a photo.
I just fart under the boat. How is it just having a boat there?
Sebastian. And you don't want it smiling, right? That's the deal.
Everybody ready? Hold still, please.
A century ago, the Harper's Magazine reporter Tappan Adney also brought his camera.
Everybody, no matter how dirty or tired, would give any price for a photograph to send back home. The men imagined their friends would be amused to see them begrimed, unshaven, and muddy.
Adney also liked to photograph the Tlingit and respected their traditional ways. He knew that in the north, experience can save your life. A century later, the rule still holds.
He didn't say anything about walking a bear through here, did he?
A bear has blocked the trail. Ron Atlin and Ron Chambers have faced this situation many times.
Pretty neat. He's walking up the trail ahead of us like he's leading us up the trail.
It's his trail.
Yeah, it's his trail. What? Where are you going? Oh no, it made him turn around and come back.
Was he challenging us there? Or are we too close to him?
I think so, maybe. Back up the trail now. Yeah, keep going. That's the way. There, he's going now again. Let's just stay there and talk with them. That's what I do. And I try to make myself higher up than them. I just told them I'm not here to hurt you. I know it's your territory. I tell them I'm just using this trail same as you.
Day 6. Andrea is moving to a place called Canyon City, where she'll set up the kitchen while the men ferry the gear. She will be there alone.
Things are always twisty.
What's a Canyon City?
Right now, not much, but by tonight it'll be Andrea and the tent and the stove and hopefully enough food to get her through till tomorrow.
Are you at all concerned about being alone in the bush, in the heart of grizzly country?
I'm actually secretly looking forward to having a little testosterone-free time, actually.
It would probably be a less painful death than packing the stuff over the pass.
Many dreams died at Canyon City. The trail climbs steeply from here. It's where Gold Rush stampeders lighten their loads. Even today, the bush is littered with second thoughts. Esther Lyons.
Here, We found many so-called miners. Greed for gold had urged them on, yet at the first real hardship, they turned back. I, a woman, looked on these miserable human beings with pity, almost with disgust.
Getting to Canyon City will be the first real progress the team has made, so the men push forward quickly. Andrea can't keep up and soon falls behind. More and more, she is becoming isolated.
I haven't cried yet today, but I cried yesterday. I've almost cried every day since I've been here. Anyways, I love everybody. And I miss my dog. I miss lots of things, but you get used to it after a while. Oh, these granny boots. If I make it over the summit, I'm gonna have them bronzed.
Canyon City. Work days are long in the land of the midnight sun, and this day is not over yet.
This is for you.
Andrea is tired, but the team is hungry, and the cook tent will soon be ready.
So you can do your thing. Maybe we'll heat up some food.
I guess that's my thing. It's not like I'm sitting at home doing nothing all day long. I'm looking after the stuff, I'm battening down the hatches for when it rains, I'm airing out the blankies. Well, I aired out their blankies once and they didn't seem to like me going in their tent, so I'm not going to do that anymore. If they got clothes on the ground, I hang them up. It's just trying to make the guys more comfortable when they're torturing themselves. I know it's hard work. I know they're all in pain and I know they're all hungry, but get over it.
Day 12. Joe's injury is almost healed. He makes his living playing the guitar, and the cut has worried him. In 1897, life on the trail became the stuff of folk tales. A century later, Joe Bishop turns his experiences into songs.
I didn't know I could do that.
You were uncharacteristically quiet there.
Yeah.
I think of songs as I'm walking down, kind of get that rhythm happening as you're walking down the trail. And here's a song that I made up one night, walking back after dropping off a load, and it goes like this. Had to climb a mountain, meaner than a sin. Had to climb a mountain, meaner than a sin. Had to climb a mountain, meaner than a sin. Where Jesus is forsaken, the devil is your only friend. Busted and bleeding, blinded by snow. Busted and bleeding, blinded by snow. Busted and bleeding, blinded by snow. Gonna be a rich man with my pockets full of gold.
I used to have sounded like a loon.
The move from Dyea is almost finished. It's a distance of 8 miles. But due to the many loads carried, they've actually walked 20 times that.
We're here. We made her.
So how was it?
Pretty hard. Yeah.
How much of the camp did you get moved?
How much?
Of the camp? Is it camp?
The tent, all our bedrolls, just the stuff to sleep, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still 4 load for us tomorrow, so we have to go back at Dyea and come back tomorrow.
One more load tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, you hungry?
Yeah. Yeah.
At Canyon City, the rainforest ends and the coastal mountains begin. This means Rick Unruh can finally dig out his gold pan.
What do you think, Sebastian? Gold is power. I mean, you look at all the kings and, you know, the pharaohs and everything. I mean, gold was a symbol of status. Anybody can do it. You don't need a lot of money to do it. It's simple equipment, like as simple as a pan and a shovel. It's just you go out in the morning and you know what you've got. And it's hard won.
Rick's gold fever still burns. Not all the stampeders who made it here felt that way. Tappanadney.
Everyone is discouraged, wet, and tired. It is no wonder most of them regret having started. It is every man for himself. There is no common interest.
For the men of the modern-day expedition, there is a common interest.
I think the first order of business
They are hungry, and they are all angry at
I think
Andrea.
if we go straight to the cheese, it's the food issue and the amount of food we're getting or we're allowed, and where the food is. So I guess that goes to you, Andrea, because for us, I think food is really important if we're going to be putting in these 12 and 14-hour days.
You want more food? I can give you more food, but we might run out.
Yeah, we want more food. The more food we can eat, just the stronger we're going to become, because the trail's just going to get harder as we go.
From the packing end of it, we're using a ton of energy, and we need that energy resupplied.
As soon as I started saying rules, everybody got their hackles up. I don't want to have rules. I'm starving. I'm working really hard. I'm working 18 hours a day. I don't think I should have to worry about food. So fine, I make you food, what I think is a lot. And you're still saying you're hungry. And you're ripping through the sugar, and we're going to run out of sugar before you even get to the summit. And then you're going to be sorry on the other side and thinking I'm the big meanie because I'm just feeding you lima beans with nothing. So what do you want? Do you want me to ration you right now and feed you good along the way?
Well,
Not enough?
I don't think
or you can pig out right now and be starving in 2 months.
On the Great Klondike Trail, 2 months is a lifetime. Ahead lie the boulder fields and the back-breaking climb up the Golden Staircase. Crossing the Chilkoot is like gambling with the gods. The team must be strong, and they must be lucky. So far, they have been neither.
Sebastian looking at the camera, Rick looking at the camera, Joe that way into the distance, and yeah, perfect.
4 men and 1 woman, living as 19th century Klondike gold miners, are traveling to the heart of Canada's Yukon territory, where they hope to strike it rich. Nuggets as big as peacock eggs, the newspapers of the day wrote. Gold everywhere for the taking.
Those other bags that are hanging up the pole belong to us.
It is their 20th day in the year 1897. So far, life on the Gold Rush Trail has been harder than they ever could have imagined. Andrea Bellon, the granddaughter of a Klondike can-can girl, found that period-appropriate boots cause period-appropriate blisters.
Blister, blister. Oh.
And folk singer Joe Bishop was careless with his knife.
So I don't know if
The results were sudden and bloody.
Oh, it might just hold. Yeah, I can see the tendon.
Dave Dyea, a mountain climber from a town called Hope, was out of action after only 3 days on the trail.
Grin and bear it, I guess. Like, what else can you do?
And Rick Unruh, who has such a passion for gold that he uses scuba gear to mine underwater, also pulled up lame.
It's spasming up on me, eh?
You got your knife out?
Yeah, if I have to, I'll just cut it so it stops spasming so much.
But none of their injuries was as painful as that of 19-year-old Quebecer Sébastien Racine. While helping carry the team's boat, he hurt the part of his anatomy men across history have sought to protect. These many delays have put them behind schedule, and they now face the very real possibility of running out of food.
We're on short supply of everything to last for 3 months.
Is that all the vegetables we have in the little...
That little jar is all the vegetables we have. This is potatoes. This is all the potatoes.
Oh, neat.
I counted it all the first day. I told you guys.
Oh, okay.
A recent quarrel over Andrea's decision to ration the food has prompted them to take an inventory. The news is not good.
How does this look, Sebastian?
Not that much food for 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah?
So I think I'm going to be skinny at the end of the trip.
I'm spilling some of this sugar. This precious commodity. This is like gold.
How important is it that we do this?
It's extremely important because everybody feels like I'm being cheap. And I know they're working hard and I know they need fuel, but ration. They're passionate about their food and I'm rationate about their food. Because I like to eat just as much as the rest of them.
We're walking for what, 13 hours and we get 8 pieces of dried fruit and a little chunk of bannock.
Yeah.
And a piece of jerky.
That's why you're motivated to go to Dawson and get the gold so you can go to Klondike Kate's and have a steak.
We're going to be crashing on the trail.
Part of this whole thing of going and looking for gold is the optimism things are going to work out. One day of rice, one day of
What all started it was I took away the sugar. I just took it away. I said, no, you guys can't have any more sugar. You're just picking up. Well, we need the sugar. We need the energy. And it's, well, you're going to need the sugar and the energy because the trail's only going to get harder from here. That's the easy part back there, what we just did.
The team is traveling from Dyea, Alaska to Dawson City, Yukon. After weeks of work, they've reached Canyon City, a historic rest point. They will soon begin the dangerous climb into the mountains and across the Chilkoot Pass. The final mile, known as the Golden Staircase, was feared by the Gold Rush stampeders. Moving day. The team is heading up the trail to a place called Sheep Camp. It's a journey of just 3 miles, but it will take all day. At the time of the gold rush, few stampeders had been north. Most came from cities and were unprepared for the hardships they would face. As tens of thousands of would-be miners struggled up this trail, exhausted and hungry, towns like Sheep Camp sprung up. Esther Lyons was one of the many who stayed here.
Here, under the summit of the Chilkoot, there are hotels and restaurants. Mr. Wilson arranged for supper, and flapjacks were ordered. They resembled stove lids, but were eaten with the relish of a dinner at Delmonico's.
Sheep Camp is gone now. But the site is still used as a rest point before the climb to the summit. It's where the men of the team and their packers have stopped. Andrea has been left far behind. In 1897, this would not have happened, but the men find her tough and demanding. They keep to themselves. 2 hours later, she arrives, exhausted. The men are also tired. They're moving the 3,000 pounds of gear load by load, which means multiple trips. Today, they've climbed this section of the trail 3 times. Andrea has done it once.
If I want to get my tent set up, I got to set it up and get the manly men to help me.
There are no volunteers. Eventually, Ron Chambers and the Tlingit packers lend a hand. In 1897, Harper's Magazine sent a reporter to cover the army of stampeders trying to cross this pass. His name was Tappan Adney.
Some say not 1 in 10 will make it. They come from desks and offices, never having done hard work. What are the chances of getting over? Everyone asks. The answer? That depends on what you are.
Day 22. A time for their own answers. They have decided to try the tough climb to the Chilkoot summit.
Might be a little bit slippery, might be a little bit foggy up there, but we're going to go anyhow and at least get an idea what the trail's like on the way up there. So give us an idea of how long it'll take us to make a trip, and then we can kind of get a little bit organized on how we want to proceed.
In the nearby tent, a different decision is made. Packers Ron Atlin and Ralph James feel the trail is too wet, the climb too dangerous. They refuse to go. On this side of the pass, the rain falls almost constantly. Trail conditions are poor. A century ago, the Tlingit often refused to work if they felt unsafe. Ralph and Ron are making the sort of choice their great-grandfathers might have made and head back down the trail for supplies.
Where have the packers gone?
They didn't want to go up to the summit just because it's foggy, which it could be foggy for, weeks on end.
We talked about it last night that everyone was going to the summit today, and that was the plan, and we had no idea that their plans had changed until they started walking out of camp.
So why don't you guys just fire them?
Because they're still carrying some, and that's better than nothing.
What would the stampeders have done?
Well, I suspect we'd have just let them go and found some new packers that were a little more compliant. But I haven't seen any fresh ones going by, so we're just kind of stuck with what we got.
The packers have actually, they've notched themselves up in my book quite a lot now, because they're actually looking after me better than the white men folk are. They worry about me. They make sure I have all my firewood. They make sure I have everything I need so that I can do my job.
All right, okay, well, who knows the way?
Start walking. I don't know, but the trail goes this way.
Okay. the false summit?
Yep. Is that where the trail goes?
Walk on the snow, yes. Looks like it, eh? Follow the snow up around the corner.
During the gold rush, this vast emptiness echoed with the sounds of a living serpent of men. Laughter and curses, rumor and gossip. All anyone knew for sure was that the trail led north, over the mountains, into the future, where the fields of gold lay waiting. About 100,000 stampeders began the epic journey to Dawson City. Most came over the White Pass or Chilkoot routes. The White Pass, known as Dead Horse Pass, was safer, but longer. The Chilkoot, short and dangerous, especially the final climb. 1.5 miles of boulders and loose rock, known as the Golden Staircase. A century ago, Tappan Adney's journey brought him to the foot of the Chilkoot.
The valley rises rapidly and the trail is very bad, but the mountain is alive. At its base is a great mass of rock. This is the Scales, one of the most wretched places on Earth.
The Scales was the last stopping point before the stampeders tried for the summit. It's where the loads were reweighed, and the Tlingit often renegotiated their fees.
Apparently here in this area, packers would just drop the gear and quit and say, we're not going any further unless you pay us more money. There would have been a lot of anxiety around this area at that time.
It's kind of strange to be here and look at the picture and think that they were here, like exactly at the same time. There was probably somebody sitting here and talking about gold and stuff like that.
Probably a lot of people got here and said, it's not worth it, and turned around and went home.
It'll be much easier traveling after this.
So this is the historic point. This is a piece of history right up there.
The major point of the whole trip is, yeah, right in front of us.
Now this morning, you guys didn't want to go on to the pass. Why was that, and what were you worried about?
Well, we weren't worried too much about anything. It's just that it was blowing and then it was starting to rain down here, so it would be worse up at the pass. We knew it would be cold and wet, and so we figured we'd go down there for the day and see by overnight it's going to clear up.
It's always dangerous up this high country like this, but the weather changes so fast and so easy.
And if you miscalculate a step or something, you could easily sprain your ankle or break the ankle or else break your leg, and then that'll put us all in a bind, because then we got to move you to a safe place where they can come and pick you up.
If the stampeders asked the packers to do something they didn't want, what would they say?
Most likely they'd say no, they wouldn't do that.
There were so many people going through here at the time, and if they didn't get along good with the guy they were working with, well, then they just went to somebody else.
Back then they were a feared people. They were known as the warring tribe from the north, and that sense of pride and everything is still there. Yeah, even though that we've been intermingling with the white race for a long time now.
This is the ascent that Ron and Ralph refused to make. The Golden Staircase. In 1897, it was the gateway to a fabled land of riches. A century later, the romance is gone, but the danger remains.
Nothing can stop us now. That was the real challenge, and I think we come through with flying colors.
You okay, Sebastian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was pretty hard, but that's the the gift at the end.
Joe?
It feels great. Finally to get here.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was great. It was completely unexpected. It was just, yeah, it was really, really neat.
It's called the Chilkoot Blues. I got the blues, the Chilkoot Blues. Those Chilkoot Blues, Chilkoot Blues. I got the blues. Those Chilkoot Blues. When I'm wearing out my feet, I'm wearing out my shoes.
The first climb to the summit was a success. Now it's time to clear the air with the packers. Most of the gear remains in the valley. They need the packers' help to get it over the pass. There is some good news. A new packer has arrived to help speed things up.
So I guess we're setting up the strategy how we're gonna make the move from here to the next camp with our tents, our sleeping gear, and our cooking gear.
We got all our camp gear packed, our bedrolls ready, just got to take the tent down. Then I got about a 50-pound bedroll, just my bedding alone.
Right, okay. If you're only one load shy or something, one of us could carry it for you.
It's a difficult conversation, and Joe picks his words carefully. But his message is simple. Everyone must move faster.
And you guys make more money the longer it takes.
Well, we're not really looking at that.
No, but that's, if we're looking at agendas,
true,
what's
yeah,
driving us
right,
to make money is the opposite of what's driving you guys to make money, right? If we look at agendas.
When we came into Finnegan's before, it was just the awkward stuff that was left. Historically, we're kind of thinking to ourselves, you know, well, wouldn't this be the reverse? Wouldn't the packers be doing the harder stuff?
The packers historically were independent entrepreneurs is what they were. And they said if that's 50 pounds and it's contained like that, and that's 50 pounds and it's like that and going to bump in the trees, which 50 pounds are you going to take? See, that's what they would have done. I have no doubt about it.
After the meeting, little has changed. Like their great-grandfathers before them, the packers have held their ground. They will carry what they choose. The stampeders will carry the rest.
I think everybody's working hard. At the same time, you want to find a way of doing it, of saying things to encourage people to really just push as much as they can push. So,
and the sensibilities of today are different than they were 105 years ago.
Oh, totally. Just as far as you kind of have to watch, or yeah, just be aware of the words coming out of your mouth.
Well, they were a pretty powerful group of people in their own right already. So I can see that there must have been some heavy-duty rows going on between some of the miners and the Tlingit.
The boat has become the bane of their existence. Weighing over 200 pounds, it requires most of their energy to move. And when they reach the lakes, no one knows if it will float. Worst of all, they still have to haul it up the golden staircase. Rick Unruh is the team Iron Man. He says he'll get the boat to water if he has to carry it himself.
It's awkward as hell, but it's heavy, eh? Everybody said, you know, like, we know you can do this. My biggest fear would be is if something happened and I let those people down. if there's one thing that I want out of life, would be for my family, to be proud of me, and for my friends to respect me. That's all I really want. I don't need lots of money or fame or fortune or anything. I mean, those are the things that really matter to me.
Not us, we're dumb. Up. Not us.
Between two guys, it's pretty bulky, so. But we're getting used to it. It feels like it's getting a little bit lighter every time. Every mile we go, it gets a little bit lighter.
Well, wait till we get to the pass.
Yeah, then we'll know where the bear was in the buckwheat.
With the men on the trail, Andrea is alone at camp. But sometimes she's not so sure about that.
There's a lot of voices in the air around here. I always think someone's out there or someone's calling me, and then I look around and there's nobody here. It's like there's people here in the bush. I guess it's ghosts, but I don't. Some of us think they just roll their eyes ahead of me when I say the place is haunted, but I feel it. Once they're gone, I put away all their stuff into their tent. I move all the furniture out of the way so that I can work around the stove. The wood here is really dense. I go for the dead wood that lies on the ground because it's partially rotten and it's easier to break. It's hard to keep clean. Everything, you think you're clean, but you're not. I have on my cleanest shirt. Look how dirty my apron is. If I wasn't wearing that, I would be absolutely filthy.
What about the stampeders? What do they do about sweat and dirt and all the things that are in their clothes from day on the trail?
I really think that the stampeders just wore their clothes until they rotted off their bodies and didn't worry about that because they just want to get over the hill and get the gold.
Good job, well done. I knew you guys could do it. We didn't bring you along.
It is the end of their 25th day on the trail, and most of the gear is at sheep camp. Getting it this far has been hard. Getting it over the pass will be worse. Early July. The Alaskan sun has finally appeared, drying their clothes and warming their spirits.
What do you think the stampeders would have talked about on the trail?
I think food would have been one of the topics. Gold, of course, would have probably been the buzzword. So that would have been the major topic. And then there would have been talk about, they had a lot of issues to deal with going up that golden staircase, about the mounted police at the top. They would have been talking about the packers and how much they were charging.
What do you think they would have been talking about?
He was probably talking about girls, I think.
About girls?
Yeah, about the girls that are in town, and because I think there was not that much girl around here, so I think it was probably a big conversation topic.
Back at camp, I don't think there was any conversation because the women are alone. I'm alone all day. I'm going to talk to myself, and I'm going to complain to myself about the blasted men eating my rations of bannock and not even saying thank you.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
The Gold Rush stampeders were often photographed for the newspapers of the day. Dave Dyea has been given a rare period camera to document his journey.
The other day, Joe and I were walking together and took a rest at one of the bridges that goes across the river, and took our boots off to let our feet kind of dry out a little bit so we don't get blisters as bad. So we had our boots off, and we're just sort of laying on the bridge with our feet dangling over the river, and I was saying that I feel like we're Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, like just little boys on this adventure. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. I think every day I have a moment where I kind of stand in awe at just the beauty of the area that I'm in. So that's pretty cool.
Tappan Adney also thought the area was cool, but he put it his own way.
The trail opens out and a heavenly view is presented to the eye. Across the valley to the westward, the blue hills. It is magnificent.
Day 30. The team has moved high into the mountains. The heat of the blazing sun, a welcome change from the dampness at sheep camp in the rainforest below. As they move through the alpine meadows, the trail becomes rockier, the risk of injury very real.
Somebody probably buried right here. I suspect this is an early grave marker, you know, some unfortunate soul pursuing his dreams, and this is as far as he got. You know, for who knows, maybe his friends, family don't even know, you know, where he died, or who knows, sometimes word wouldn't get out, so just a lost soul. Yeah, that's the risk you run to follow your dreams.
No one knows how many died following their Klondike dreams. Stories from the time say 3 or 4 men a day, dead from exhaustion, infection, or avalanche. Tapenadney.
A dead man was brought out today. He'd overdone himself. I heard of a big snowslide where 200 or 300 lives were lost, but later found out it was only 52.
You okay, Joe, with that sled?
Yeah, it's a bit awkward and heavy, but because we can't get 2 trips in a day, we're trying to get the loads heavier. Yeah.
Okay, Sebastian, can you put both hands on your knee? Perfect. All right, and everybody hold still, please.
Photography is the art of seeing what others do not. And the creative eye is timeless. With the packers and his teammates carefully positioned, Dave Dyea opens a window in time.
Great, and now you're all looking as though you're walking, so just stand just like that.
Today becomes yesterday in the blink of a camera's eye.
How would you describe the trail going up now?
Well, right now, because of the time of the day, the snow is really slippery, and there's a lot of breakthrough points, so you have to be careful. You could easily drop through and twist or injure your leg quite severely. Plus, there's a lot of rocks right under the snow, so there's always a possibility of a rock injury too. And once we get on that slope, it could be really slippery. If you fall, you might go away before you're able to stop yourself. Up until this point, this is what everybody was striving for, to get over the top. You know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
At sheep camp, the mists soak to the bone. Most days they awaken damp and hungry. Andrea cooks what she can, but rations are short.
What does the diet ahead look?
Sparse. It's beans in the morning and peas in the afternoon. Bannock every other time, and we're gonna run out of butter soon.
Today, they have decided to move the heavy midsection of the boat up the golden staircase. They need a good breakfast, but it's more of the same. Bannock and bannock.
No, we've all been losing weight, and what we've noticed in the last week is from Dyea to here, we've been getting stronger and stronger, and now with the diet we're on, our stamina, we're losing energy and stamina, so we've peaked physically, and now we're starting to get weaker.
There's just a point of the day that it's go like boom down, and it's something that happened, like I noticed in like 3 minutes. You're walking and you start to feel a little bit like, and in 3 minutes you feel like fall asleep right on the trail.
I felt like that.
The weather near the summit is unpredictable. Although it's midsummer, the temperature is just above freezing, and the ice wind blows heavy from the pass. This is their 30th day as a team of Gold Rush stampeders, and it will be their most difficult.
We've come prepared. We've, taken all the necessary precautions that we can possibly think of after kind of scouting it out yesterday.
It'll be a struggle for sure. I think it'll be a really tough slog, but we'll make it.
Sebastian?
My opinion on the boat is I don't agree to carry the boat today.
Why do it then?
Because we need to be together, and we need to be four to do that.
Okay.
A real risk up there is hypothermia, because we've got all the elements that are there to cause it.
In 1897, a chain link of men struggled up this slope under their heavy loads. Rest points made the journey safer, but the climb was seen as the first real test of whether a man had what it took to be a Klondiker. Tappan Adney.
The trail is very steep. One must climb on hands and knees from boulder to boulder. The mountain is alive with a moving train of human beings. Never did a man look so small.
Joe, I think this is the first time in 105 years a boat has come over this mountain.
Well, I'm sure it is. It's probably the last time for 105 years.
Yeah, you must feel pretty proud of this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a day I'll remember for a long time.
Dave, I remember at the beginning you said to me one of the reasons you wanted to do this was because you wanted to do something extraordinary.
That's right.
I think today qualifies.
I think it qualifies as well. It's a great feeling. Quite a, yeah, this will be one of those days that I remember about the trip like forever and ever. So it's pretty cool.
The day has been hard won, the victory well earned. However, the pride of the moment is not just theirs. From the mist, a phantom image. 53-year-old Tlingit packer Ralph James also carries his load to the summit. Below, at Sheep Camp, Andrea knows what's expected of her.
Everybody's starving. Everybody needs to be fed right away. Dinner is mashed potatoes and corned beef, just like they had last night.
Baking powder. I think we lost baking
It's a
soda.
night for celebration.
See what else I brought? The
Bacon.
pork!
All right.
Yeah!
Getting their boat up the golden staircase was a triumph for this team of stampeders, but it was just one of many trips they face as they fight their way towards the gold fields, load by load by load. And the real struggles are still to come. Can they live with the constant ache of hunger? And what choices will they make if the food runs out?
I'm so skinned. That scares me. Like, I'm able to see my. You will not see it, but I'm able to see my bones everywhere. So I don't know what it's gonna be in 2 months. And yeah, that definitely scares me.
Day 34, a day Andrea has been dreading. She is moving their kitchen to a trapper's cabin 24 miles away. It is a marathon journey, which will take her over the pass for the first time.
But like these straps, are they attached to these straps?
No.
So we could take this off and just carry it if we have to.
The only thing I'm worried about really is this thing squirting out the bottom and...
She hasn't really been packing at all, so she's not kind of prepared for this. So every time she has to pack, and we have no idea her strength or her weaknesses until she's there. So
And where's the hard part for her? What are you worried about?
the golden stairs will be the hardest part. It's the steepest part, it's loose rock, and your pack is really important because if it's too top heavy and you stand up, you'll flip right over backwards. So
And if she falls, what'll happen?
then one of us has to cook.
I'm nervous.
The packers' deal with the stampeders is over, and they will soon be returning home. Ralph James is especially proud of his efforts. His great-grandfather was Skookum Jim. On August 16th, 1896, Jim saw gold as thick as cheese in a sandwich at Rabbit Creek, a find which started the Klondike Gold Rush.
It does something for me when they ask me to do this, because it's, well, he did it, and I'm trying to recreate what he did. I believe he's watching me, and...
Yeah. And is he laughing?
He's probably killing himself laughing. He was a joker, they say, you know, and he's probably killing himself laughing, you know. Just watching me sweat all the way up the trail, you know.
What are your thoughts on the whole stampede and the Klondike and the people who did this?
It took a lot of nerve for them to go over there. So many people figuring they're all going to get rich. Many of them didn't. A lot of hardships along the way. Even now in this modern time that we're doing it
is pretty hard.
You know, there's winners and losers all the way along, but the thing that bothers me here is that the biggest losers of all were the native people who were here. You don't see anybody around. There's no reference to them. There's no sign of their homes. My grandmother was born in this area, and there's no sign or reference to her or her people, you know, and I find that pretty sad.
How's your pack feeling?
A lot lighter. And I guess it'll get heavier on the other side.
The men have already left for the other side. Andrea must find her own way across what a poet once called the long trail of tears.
We should just go straight through that hump. The trail goes to the side. Like maybe we're gonna go over that.
where are the men? And why aren't they with you?
Because I'm too slow. I don't know why they're not with me. I guess I'm too slow.